venture-backed startups or small businesses?
Small business, like startups, people just started their business.
Okay. As an entrepreneur, I can tell you, I would have wanted this for free. So, have you thought about going upstream and looking at more like the startup accelerators, like Techstars, SoCap, I mean, all of those, or investors?
100%. So I've worked with a lot of those startups, all of those that I showed, and that would be, I really want to go into that, but right now I really want to build out a product, kind of a proof of concept by going to NKU's incubator and then reaching out to those startups when I've actual like something that I'm like, this is valuable, this is what I want you guys to use, and have some sort of like white labeling thing or something where like I can partner with them and use that for startups.
And then what about liability for an AI-driven program? What if it gives the wrong answer?
Fair. We're not giving like, this is what you should use for your taxes. It's more or less like, this is the data we have on your industry, and this is what like X percentage of people use. Here, go to this website and find like tax information. And we're not doing tax accounting, we're doing more of the internal kind of like, we're checking where you're at versus like your forecasting and stuff like that.
So, I think that you have an interesting idea, but I'm not really quite sure I fully understand how you're going to sell this idea. So, what is your marketing strategy? Who are some of your key stakeholders, not necessarily the startup companies, but other stakeholders involved in the process that you would need to engage with in order for this to work?
Okay, so I would need obviously to work with a software engineer, stuff like that. I've also need partnerships with PO Group. They make custom built learning softwares. So obviously having like a better UI, something like that for helping our entrepreneurs. Those startup accelerators and entrepreneurial support organizations would be a key partnership too, just to bring our outreach to more entrepreneurs and startups who are building their own businesses. Those would be like what I have currently in key partnerships.
And along those lines, have you completed a business model canvas?
Yes, I have.
And from that canvas, what do you see as the growth strategy, the distribution channels, future revenue generation?
Yeah, so the growth channels would be like starting out like selling to singular entrepreneurs and then selling as like a white labeling compact system for a lot of these accelerates for them to have into their kind of like 6-month course or multiple week course. So it's like instead of them all talking to an accountant, they go through my like 3-hour long course depending on their business, and then they get an understanding, and then they can like alter their template based on the crash course and build out something that's for them by them.
Impressive numbers just in the 2 states you mentioned, Kentucky and I would use a nationwide number because that's the market.
I agree. I want to focus more on the local market just right now before I have something that's better, just to kind of build it out, because that's where my connections are, and I think that would be the best way for me to kind of hit the ground running, as they say.
I'm having difficulty envisioning your final product. What would it look like?
So my final product would be kind of, you sign up, you fill out a survey, like this is what my business is, this is my stage of development, just some more information, and then we would create a crash course for you. And then as you go through the crash course of just basic things about cash flow, things that could benefit about your business specifically, and then you look with the video and you're like, oh, this attributes to my business. You click a button and it would add more Excel like templates and things onto your already existing template. So at the end of the course, you'll have one that's more built out, and you'll know exactly where to put your different numbers, like your sales and expenses, where to put what, like how to forecast what you would like to do for upcoming months. So just you learn like step by step, building out your thing, all your template while taking the course.
And you mentioned AI models. AI model need a lot of data.
Yes.
And you mentioned census data. Census data doesn't give you, enough granularity or enough sample size, especially on
Yeah.
small business and startups.
Mhm.
So how do you plan to get that data to build your models? Because it would fail if you don't have the right data.
Mhm. So right now we're in the exploratory stage of finding that. The Bureau of Labor Statistics and the U.S. Census Bureau, those were just two examples that I had as free to use knowledge databases. We're still looking at multiple databases that could be valuable for our entrepreneurs, and that's a part of that 30% of our budget will be used to ongoing like updating and finding more stuff like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.